Alright.
See, you know what's getting me is the depth perception.
It's always a bit of a thing. Especially, I mean, I'm going to harp on a game that I love. Little Nightmares.
Never played it.
Little Nightmares.
I know you've been big on that lately, though.
Absolutely incredible game. It's sort of 2.5D, almost 3D puzzle platformer.
Yeah.
It really harkens to Limbo and Inside. It's similar to those. But I honestly think it's a better game than either because it's got this more like depth of gameplay. Like the puzzle solving requires more of you as a player.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. Big fan of that. And the big problem that I have with it is that every now and then you're in a dimly lit room. Mm-hmm. And in a dimly lit room, let me tell you, depth is relative. It's purely relative.
Yeah.
And in a game that requires a lot of you placing your jumps almost perfectly, you're going to fall to your death a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a good game, though. I mean, we just finished a playthrough of that one on the channel not too long ago, so... Finished it. There's DLC, though, so be prepared.
Get ready for that.
Yeah.
Just grab some of this.
Ooh. So you're clearly going for the gator minigame before you're going for the turtle minigame, huh?
Yes, that was my plan. And also I was going to try to clean up a little bit.
Get a couple of those
Get all the
stray
stuff
music notes.
Need to be a little gator for. Can we just say cutest transformation in the game is the alligator?
I like the alligator a lot. I think the pumpkin's the cutest, though.
Pumpkin's pretty good.
Actually, no, I don't even... Like, I love the pumpkin because I love the theming.
Yeah.
But I lied. The walrus is the cutest one.
Yep, okay. I can get behind any of them because they're all great.
Yeah.
But,
I think walrus is a hard...
It's a tough one to beat.
Tough to beat,
sure.
Yeah.
The bumblebee's also pretty cute, too.
Yeah, I've spent the least time with the bumblebee because that's so late game and I've picked up and started this game so many times. But yeah, the bee's pretty good. You know what I hate, though? The bee in this game's great. The bee in Banjo-Tooie. I'm not a big fan
There's a bee in Banjo-Tooie?
Yeah, there's a world called CROCODILE Land. And it's like a cloud kingdom in the sky with like steampunk clock aesthetic. And
that actually sounds rad.
It's a super cool world, but sort of what's required of you when you're playing as the bumblebee in that one is more... it's like...
Does it control the same at least?
Well, not exactly, because it's not just about the flight.
Right.
Because in that game, they introduced this new function that is essentially... it's flight... aerial combat, essentially.
Right, you can
shooting while you're flying. Yeah, which is fine. Like
there's a multiplayer mode based on that was.
Well, there's a 007 style, like a Perfect Dark style, first-person shooter multiplayer game mode, which is super fun. Where you play as Banjo holding Kazooie as a gun, or you play as Mumbo holding a different bird as a gun.
It's so good.
I think you can play as a Jinjo, and the Jinjo's really fast but has the least health. You can play as Hoomba, I believe, and you can also play as Gruntilda. Oh, and I think maybe Jam Jars even. Jam Jars being...
the new Bottles.
Yeah, Bottles' cousin, who's a military. it's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the aerial combat is like not the best. Like you can clearly see what they were going for, but it just doesn't always handle well.
Like I said before, and like again, this is going back several episodes. Like these old like rare games, they don't. Oh shoot, I forgot about him.
You can come back for him.
Can't I just like untransform? You can in Ukulele.
Nope.
Rip.
Yeah.
Flight controls, not the best selling point.
And like the flight controls, you can wrap your head around those, okay, right?
Yeah.
But the first person shooting flight is like, there's so many boss fights that revolve around it. Like the boss with there's a boss fight with a character called Mr. Patches.
Yeah.
In Witchy World, it's a giant inflatable dragon kind of guy, and you have to shoot the patches so that he deflates. But some of those patches like weirdly clip through his body sometimes, and like just weird shit happens.
Right.
But when you're playing as the bee in Kazooie Land, you have to do aerial combat with your stinger.
Oh boy, that sounds like a nightmare.
So it's kind of like unlimited ammo, because you don't have to worry about running out of eggs.
Do you shoot it, or is it just like melee combat?
You have to aim and fire.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's just, like the little tiny mini game that you're playing, it's kind of like this one where it's like a self-contained thing where you're a bee in a beehive and you're shooting bee stingers at shit. But it is unforgiving with its time limits, and frankly, not very fun.
Yeah, it comes back to time limits always.
Yeah. So the bee in this game is fun enough to play as for sure.
Yeah.
But the bee in Banjo-Kazooie is like, ugh, a little bit of a sore spot for old Scott.
I just like the bee in Click Clock Woods because it's like, I like the flight and it's just like that.
Yeah, it flies fun, and he's cute. He's like a little chubby bee.
Yeah, I mean, you're not limited by like Kazooie's feathers or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like
Exactly.
you can just fly forever.
One other cool thing, going back to the Banjo-Tooie thing, is that there's Clockwork Kazooie Land, but there's also, you get different egg types while you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the egg types that you get is called a Clockwork Kazooie. And it's a big red egg with like chunky yellow spots all over it. And when you fire it, it's like a low lop, like the egg just sort of hops out of you.
Yeah.
And then it immediately cracks open and a little tiny Clockwork Kazooie.
Oh, that's
spawns.
very good though.
And yeah, exactly. And you get to do this cool thing where you can run around in like small spaces because you're this
Yeah.
tiny bird and you can find all sorts of cool stuff. But the bird has a time limit on it.
Yeah.
And you can either manually end the time limit or the time limit can come to its end. But when the time limit is up, your Clockwork Kazooie explodes violently, and so you've got a tiny bomb friend. And that's a super cool game mechanic.
That sounds like something that they were gonna use for like 007, like GoldenEye.
Yeah, very much so. It's kind of like a RC car function in Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
I feel like now, are you ready for the dissenting opinion of the hour?
What's that?
Perfect Dark, better game than 007.
I could probably get behind that. I mean, I have more experience with 007 than I do Perfect Dark, but I'm open to the possibility that perhaps. I'm so glad that I got that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm open to the possibility that maybe Perfect Dark is better.
Mm-hmm.
Like GoldenEye revolutionized first-person shooters. It's the definition of what it is the first console first-person shooter. It defined that genre. It created that genre.
We can thank it for a lot of good games and even more shitty games.
Yeah. And I'm like, the thing about being the first one is that you're not always the best.
Mm-hmm. You set a lot of conventions in place with GoldenEye.
Yeah.
The problem is that Perfect Dark is just genuinely of that type of game from that era. It's just a better game. Like, it plays better. It's got more interesting gameplay mechanics. It's more fully well realized. Genuinely, I would go back and play Perfect Dark right now. I would not touch GoldenEye right now.
I actually played GoldenEye quite recently.
How was it?
I was playing with my buddy's old broken N64 controller, so less than ideal is how I'm going to describe that. But
some good old-fashioned old game jank. Oh my god.
Oh,
does it count as a
tie go
win if
to
you
me?
tie? Nope. It's playing negative music.
Do I have to do all of them?
Mighty Mr. Vile wins. Oh yeah,
he bit me, so I can play him again. I wonder if I can start at the third one though.
Fuck, I hope so.
Speaking of like GoldenEye and stuff, it would have been pretty fun if they had managed to put 007 GoldenEye James Bond in
Rare Replay?
Nope. Smash Bros.
Oh man,
Because he was one of those ones that was considered for, I think, Melee after 64 came out.
That would have been
along
wild.
with our good friend here, Banjo.
I would have loved to see that. Actually, like, as far as rare representation is concerned, my picks go, of course. Banjo is number 1.
Yes.
Conquer, number 2. Easy. I'm trying to think of... Oh, no.
Man, I'd already pressed the button.
Timer, yeah. Maybe Saberwolf?
Saberwolf?
Yeah, Saberwolf was his own intellectual property back when they were making, like, arcade-style games for, like, early Nintendo consoles.
Yeah.
But Saberwolf then proceeded to... They did the thing that Rare always does with the characters, and they crossed him over into a new thing, and then he now is more well-known for that other thing.
Yeah.
Saberwolf is a big, mean-ass werewolf character, and he's Killer Instinct now. Oh,
yeah, okay. That's yeah. Saberwolf.
I think Saberwolf would have been a very good pick for Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, even Shadow Jago from Killer Instinct would be pretty cool. Like,
yeah, I mean, honestly, like, as far as, like, representation for Rare and Smash Bros. Goes, like, my pick's always going to go to Banjo.
It's going to be Banjo, For sure.
Like, and he was originally planned. There have been some tweets by Mr. Phil Spencer saying that he'd be happy to have Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Bros. Because
Showing up at some point.
Why wouldn't he be happy to have free advertising in another company's game?
And especially for a character, like, if right now you told me that there was
There you go. So we got a Jiggy for it, but it's 3 extra lives if you win.
Okay, so we don't really give a shit about that.
Certainly not.
We're pretty good. Greeny brave, but Mr. Val soon chew Greeny shorts.
Anyway,
you hit A.
You were saying?
Get the fuck out of there.
I did hit A.
You did.
It's
hit A instead of B.
A and on the Pro Controller is where B is on the
Oh,
like,
for like
on the Switch
for the
Pro
Switch.
Controller.
Yeah, okay.
A would be B.
Yeah,
So.
that's totally fair. A and B are also, if you're just playing with the Joy-Cons, they're equally fucked up. But
excuse me, fucked up. It was like that originally on the SNES controller.
Uh-huh.